In the bustling ancient city of Athens, over 2,000 years ago, a man lost everything. His wealth, his ship, his possessions. But what he found afterward changed the world forever. His name was Zeno of Citium, a merchant from Cyprus who made his living crossing the Mediterranean with valuable goods. One day, during one of these journeys, disaster struck. A violent storm capsized his ship and swallowed everything he owned into the sea. Zeno arrived in Athens with nothing left but the clothes on his back. Most of us can imagine how devastating that moment would feel. Imagine watching your entire life's work, everything you've built over decades, vanish beneath the waves in a single night. How would you react? Rage? Despair? Helplessness? Zeno responded differently. That catastrophe became the beginning of a transformation, not just for him, but for millions who would one day follow his path. While wandering through the city, Zeno found himself inside a bookstore. He began reading the works of Socrates and other great philosophers. Deeply moved, he sought out the philosophers of Athens, asking them to teach him. Years later, standing on the painted Stoa, a public colonnade, he began teaching his own philosophy, a way of living that gave people strength, clarity, and resilience. That philosophy was Stoicism. The power of reframing. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple but radical idea. We cannot control everything that happens, but we can control how we respond. Zeno couldn't control the sea. He couldn't control the storm, but he could control his mind. This is what made Stoicism so revolutionary. It isn't about pretending that pain doesn't exist. It's about choosing how to see it. A single shift in perspective can ripple through your entire life. Like turning the wheel of a ship by a few degrees, this small adjustment can change your entire trajectory over time. The essence of Stoicism. Today, many misunderstand Stoicism as being emotionless, detached, or indifferent. People imagine a Stoic as someone who suppresses feelings, never gets angry, never cries. But this isn't what Zeno taught. Stoicism is not about rejecting emotion. It's about understanding it, mastering it, and choosing how to act instead of being carried away by impulses. It's a philosophy, not just a personality trait. A way of seeing the world, not just a way of behaving. And what's remarkable is that its teachings are just as relevant today as they were in ancient Greece. Whether you're a student, a leader, a parent, or a creator, the Stoic principles can give you the tools to navigate the chaos of life with clarity and strength. A philosophy for everyone. Unlike many ancient teachings reserved for the elite, Stoicism was taught in public. Zeno gave his lectures not behind palace doors, but in the open, where anyone could listen. Slaves, merchants, soldiers, statesmen. The Stoics believed that philosophy was not a luxury, it was a necessity for living well. That's why some of the most famous Stoics came from vastly different backgrounds. Epictetus was born a slave. He had nothing, not even ownership of his own body. Yet through philosophy, he found an inner freedom that no master could take away. Seneca was a statesman and one of the richest men in Rome. He lived in the palace, but spoke about moderation and simplicity. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, spent his nights journaling about patience, justice, and humility. Stoicism was for everyone, because suffering, challenges, and change come for everyone. Perspective is everything. One of the Stoics' greatest insights is that the events themselves don't disturb us. It's our interpretation of those events that does. Rain, for example, is neither good nor bad. It simply falls. If you expect a sunny day and get caught in the rain without an umbrella, you might feel frustrated. But if you were expecting a storm and the rain turns out to be light, you might actually feel grateful. The difference lies entirely in your perspective. Similarly, life will bring both expected and unexpected difficulties. Stoicism teaches us to expect the unexpected, to mentally prepare for hardship, not as pessimists, but as realists. By imagining worst-case scenarios ahead of time, we rob them of their power to surprise us. This isn't anxiety, it's preparation. Voluntary discomfort. Training the mind. One powerful Stoic exercise is called voluntary discomfort. It's the practice of deliberately exposing yourself to mild discomfort to build mental resilience. Sleep on the floor. Take cold showers. Eat simple food for a few days. Leave your phone behind for a weekend. By doing these things, you prove to yourself that you can survive, even thrive, without luxury. You remind yourself that comfort is nice, but not necessary. And when true hardship comes, your mind is prepared. In a world that constantly tells us we need more money, more status, more possessions, voluntary discomfort helps us rediscover what truly matters. Why external happiness fails. Most of us chase happiness through external things: wealth, recognition, relationships, status. But these things are fragile. Cars break down, jobs disappear, people change, fortunes are lost overnight. If your sense of worth depends on these, your happiness is at the mercy of chance. The Stoics urge us to anchor our happiness to what we control: our thoughts, actions, and values. Seneca once wrote that learning to live with less will create space in your life for the things that truly matter. Freedom isn't found in having more, it's found in needing less. The dichotomy of control. Perhaps the most important Stoic principle is the dichotomy of control, articulated beautifully by Epictetus. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. There are things in life we control and things we don't. Your effort is within your control. The outcome is not. This principle applies everywhere, even to something as modern as making YouTube videos. You can control your research, your script, your editing, your thumbnail, but you cannot control the algorithm. You cannot control how many people click or share. Judge your work not by external metrics, but by the effort and intention you put into it. That's Stoicism in action. Reframing expectations. Consider someone who works hard for months expecting a promotion. They give their best, submit their report, and wait eagerly.